morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another week of Before Coffee. It's Mucking Funday, the first day of everyone's week, in which we've just ended a long holiday in the United States, I know, so people are, gotta go back to work. What the hell is going on now?
December.
Yep.
Forget Monday. December.
Yep.
How the hell is it December already?
Yep. We're getting through it, guys. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before we've started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. That's right. That is my dad with me, for anyone who's confused. Who the old man is my father.
Just
and
like
I'm his
and
daughter.
Subscribe. No more
That's how family relationships
Even if you
work.
don't like, subscribe.
Yes, if you don't like it, subscribe. If you do like it, subscribe.
I don't
Follow
know
us
what else you
on
said, but
all
like
of the
and
things, and let's roll that segue wheel. But first, let's get into our headlines. Today on Mucking Funday, Ukraine Zelensky in Paris seeking support as Trump pushes plan for peace. And first accelerationist terrorist cell dismantled, the most extreme version of white supremacy in Spain.
And Whiskey Pete commits war crimes. That's right. The Secretary of Defense, that somehow, got to point into that, even though his military service consists of being a desk jockey and getting drunk, is also committing war crime.
Swiss prosecutors target Credit Suisse, now part of the UBS, over a Mozambique money laundering case.
Oh yes, and more Stinky the Clown news. The court disqualifies Trump ally Haba as top New Jersey federal prosecutor. And we're going to talk about the price of silver going through the roof and what's driving it.
In my culture news, Black Friday or Buy Nothing Day? Which side of consumerism do you fall on, or did you fall on? Did you buy anything on Friday?
And it's a day without art. What an odd thing to be. Day without art. That's an absurd thing we're not going to observe here. But it's also National Eat a Red Apple Day. Also, why should we discriminate against fruit based on color? I'm having trouble with today's days. Let's have something else. It's National Pie Day. Who doesn't like pie? I like pie.
I love
December 1st.
Pie for breakfast.
December 1st, 2025 on Before Coffee. Without art.
Everyone day without art.
I
guess maybe to experience what it's like to not have art anymore. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, get kicked in the head every 5 seconds for an entire day. Just to experience that. Okay.
Torture yourself
every day I go without it.
I think it's supposed to be like, learn to appreciate art, because when you take it out of your day, you notice that's missing, right?
Oh yeah, it's the paradox, right?
It's
the paradox, right?
Yeah.
The paradox. Life would not exist without death. That's the paradox.
Humans would be pretty depressed if we didn't have art. That's true.
There would be no such thing as life, because a rock doesn't have a life, right? Because the rock doesn't die, therefore it can't have a life. Or, unless it does, and we just don't know. What do the rocks do when we're not around? And they know when cameras on them. Anyway, sorry, I'm into this conspiracy of rocks are controlling us. There you go. Rocks
Did you know
ice
is a rock? Really, it's a solid mineral, because ice isn't made out of carbon,
32
right?
degrees
Ice is made out of
Fahrenheit,
rocks. That's what it is. So it's actually a rock.
Yeah.
And when you melt a rock, it
have,
turns into lava. So when you melt ice and you get water, you're drinking lava.
Yeah. There's also a melting temperature for iron and gold, right? Not just ice. Right? Very the most, the most plentiful mineral on Earth. Hydrogen, or element is hydrogen.
Water,
So it's forming covalent bonds everywhere, that hydrogen. It loves covalency. So does carbon. Carbon's covalent as hell. That's why it combines and makes gas. It, warms up the planet.
That's true. Let's get into our first segue wheel and our first stories. Roll the wheel over my face. It's rolling over my face. I've become the wheel. I am the wheel. Give me a non sequitur.
Hold on. Non sequitur. I don't have to think. Awesome. Thank you. Monday
can just
morning
completely ignore the story and talk about whatever you're daydreaming about during mine.
Yes. I'm gonna count my toes again and make sure they're all there. Carry on.
My first story is about the Ukraine deal that I've already talked about many times. Is not a deal. It's just a surrender. Hey, surrender for peace. And by peace, we mean just becoming a new Russian state. There you go, Ukraine. You're welcome. This is by AFP on the Kyiv Post. President Volodymyr Zelensky today, on the 1st of December, sought to reinforce European support for Ukraine at a potentially pivotal moment in Kyiv's battle against the Russian invasion, meeting President Emmanuel Macron in Paris as Washington pushed a plan to end the war at any means necessary, including just basically Ukraine losing the war. Zelensky was holding talks with Macron at the Elysee, with Ukraine weighing its options over the plan championed by convicted felon Trump, but which European countries fear risks caving into Russian demands. Appease Russia, give them what they want. You know what's happening next? Invading Poland, invading Lithuania, invading Georgia. Who else? Invading Romania. All these places, right? Why? They're just going to let us. The U.S. is not going to attack us if we invade these places, so why do we care? I mean, let's be honest. Sadly, that is the state of affairs. Europe is not seen as a threatening military body. I have hair in my mouth. So, even though they do have an army, right? Germany has an army, France has an army, Poland has an army. They're not at any level close to what the U.S. military complex is. So, Russia probably thinks they can deal with it, right? We can deal with the Polish army. Over their dead bodies, I'm sure. The situation has been further complicated by a corruption scandal that has rocked Zelensky's inner circle and forced the removal last week of his top negotiator and chief of staff, Andriy Yermak. Over 3.5 years into Russia's full-scale invasion of its neighbor, Kyiv is also under pressure on the battlefield as Russia's offensive grinds forward. U.S. and Ukrainian negotiators held hours of what both sides call productive talks in Florida on Sunday, the 31st of November, with Trump declaring on Air Force One, "There's a good chance we can make a deal. A really shit deal, but a deal. There are some tough issues that still have to be worked through," Zelensky wrote on social media, following new talks by telephone today on the 1st of December with Finland President Alexander Stubb, who has a warm relation with both the American and Ukrainian leaders. Zelensky described the talks in the U.S. as very constructive, adding that decisions would be taken on Ukraine's further activities once the delegation returning from there had been debriefed. The Ukrainian president will make his first official visit to Ireland on December 2nd, tomorrow, holding talks with Prime Minister Michael Martin, addressing the parliament and opening Ireland-Ukraine Economic Forum. It could be a pivotal week. Sorry, wait, who's talking? It could be a pivotal week for diplomacy. We heard yesterday that the talks in America were difficult but productive. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas added on a meeting on EU defense ministers. Washington put forward an initial 28-point proposal to halt the war, drafted without input from any of Ukraine's or European allies, and regarded as too close a reflection of Moscow's maximalist demands on Ukrainian territory. As in, we invaded you. If you want peace, you have to give us everything we invaded you for, or else we won't stop invading you. Wow, that seems like a great deal. It would have seen Kyiv withdrawn from its eastern Donetsk region, and the U.S. de facto recognizing it and Crimea and Lugansk region as Russian. So just, here you go, you invaded a country, here's some land. You're welcome, you won. After talks in Geneva just over a week ago, the United States updated the original blueprint, following criticism from Kyiv and Europe, but the current contents remain unclear. Steve Witkoff is due in Moscow for follow-up talks as expected to discuss Ukraine with Putin on tomorrow, the 2nd of December. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters that the Florida talks were very productive, but there's more work to be done. As usual, government officials will tell you, no, we didn't waste time arguing for 20 hours and then got nothing done, because that's usually what happens. There have been lots of moving parts, and obviously there's another party involved here that will have to be a part of the equation, and that will continue later this week.
Rubio
Mr. Witkoff travels to Moscow, he said. Another party involved. What do you mean another party involved? You just wanted to talk to only one party and it's like, whatever. I don't know what. This is just like a. What do you call it?
Down the river.
I can't think of what the word is, but this is just something to make Trump feel good about himself, right? I can put this on the list of things I've done. I don't care if it's a good deal as long as I can say I did it.
Last week, Rubio said it was Russia's peace plan. He told all the Republican senators that, and then he backtracked right after that. So we know we told the truth the first time. And Witkoff just forwarded their peace plan and said, this is it. And Ukraine had no input. It's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Mm-hmm. It's a non-starter, right? Who's going to
What do we get for this plan? Nothing. You lost the war. That's what you get to say. You lost the war. Zelensky gets put on a, It's
Meanwhile, we're starting war.
Trump also referred to the political turbulence in Kyiv, which saw Zelensky last week remove Yermak after corruption scandal in the energy sector that has troubled Western allies. The diplomatic push comes as the war, which has killed tens of thousands of civilians and military personnel and displaced millions of Ukrainians, shows no sign of easing. Russia's forces targeted Ukraine's capital and the region with deadly airstrikes 2 nights in a row over the weekend. They've been doing that since it started. They've been attacking Ukraine's capital with drones and missiles ever since it began, okay? Ukraine security source, meanwhile, said Kyiv was responsible for attacks on 2 oil tankers in the Black Sea that believed were covertly transporting sanctioned Russian oil. One of Russia's largest oil terminals halted operation Saturday, which was the 30th of November, following a drone attack. The Caspian Pipeline Consortium, CPC, a group that includes U.S. oil majors Chevron and ExxonMobil, and which owns the terminal, called the strike a terrorist attack. Yeah, okay. Maybe stop selling Russian oil and people won't attack you for supplying Russian oil. Ukraine, which did not comment on the incident, regularly targets Russian energy facilities in a bid to sap the country's war chest. Oh my god, you know what you're at risk with when you provide supplies to a country who's currently at war? You'll get attacked. I don't know why we're acting like we're surprised. Wait, I gave oil to Russia and then my entire oil rig got attacked. What the hell? Well, yeah, you're giving supplies to the enemy of another country. They're gonna attack you. I hate capitalists sometimes. Why can't I just continue making money and not make any losses? This sucks. Why can't I make money off of war without worrying about myself?
Bob Dylan wrote Masters of War the year I was born. We ain't learned shit from that.
Is that your non sequitur?
He wrote that the year I was born. And he sang it on TV. No, that's not my non sequitur. I didn't know you were done.
That's the end of my story.
Oh, okay. My non sequitur is. Anyway, speaking of gerbils, Epstein knew Putin, right? Epstein knows Putin. We're talking about this peace deal in a long way, right? How much blackmail does he have on a guy like Lindsey Graham, right? What does that freak into? Because Lindsey Graham went from hating Trump, the most anti-Trump person in either party, to boom, on his side, just from one little round of golf they played together.
Mm-hmm. That's suspicious.
Hey, check out what I got here on this video screen of you, Lindsey Graham. Here's you and a couple of friends. Anyway, that's my non sequitur. Speaking of gerbils.
Let's roll our segue wheel for your story. I've become the wheel. Roll the wheel, baby. It's the segue wheel. I don't care what your
proclivity is when you're alone, but leave the animals out of it.
I'm going to give you a hypothetical about your story.
Okay, then. Proclivities. I love that word, don't you? All right, I got a story here about Whiskey Pete. Not only are most useless defense secretary actually calls himself the Secretary of War. So much he wants to just start a war. He wants to start a war so much that, let's kill some fishermen. And while they're laying there wounded, let's just kill them again. Because, hey, both things are illegal. The second one is really fucking illegal. Killing ordering the murder of wounded soldiers is a war crime.
Yes.
And Whiskey P is going to prison.
Double tapping a body is a war crime. You're not supposed to be killing people. You're just supposed to be stopping them from fighting, technically, in war.
All right, this is... in case you... Trump administration has killed like 80 people, supposedly smuggling drugs, which is not threatening the immediate borders of the United States. Venezuela is a long damn ride from here. I know because I've been to Colombia like a dozen times, and it's right next door. They're basically the same distance in the air, and you got to refuel. It's a long freaking trip. So Venezuela ain't goddamn close. They're justifying it by saying that drugs come to this country from South America, which is an absurd freaking reason to kill people off the coast just for having boats. And anybody that's obeyed these illegal orders, is in trouble. Lawmakers from both parties said Sunday they support congressional reviews of U.S. military strikes against vessels. Yes, both parties. This ain't some partisan bullshit. Yeah. This is the United States law. It's international law, and if you wanted to, you could. Can't you just drive down to the Hague? You just get on a train, go down to the Hague, and file war crime charges. Get some of your friends together and say this is war crimes against humanity, against Pete Hegseth and the Trump administration. Can anybody do that? I mean, you have evidence. You can just show the videos. They made videos of it. Let's do the story. The lawmakers from both parties said Sunday they support congressional reviews of U.S. military strikes against vessels suspected of smuggling drugs, not arms, not stealing children, nothing like that. Drugs. Things people want. People want drugs. Unfortunately, that's true. It's just what we want. We want drugs. I got up this morning, drugs. Right? Smoking some weed later.
We are all coping through this capitalist hellscape, okay?
That's right. I was feeling kind of weak earlier. I said, shit, I need some sugar. Drug. I don't care what you say. Sugar is something people get addicted to. So here we are killing people who suspected of something. This is a new thing now. These fascists we have in charge. And you should hate it. And you should support the people that say obeying an illegal order is a crime. Disobeying is not a crime. If somebody orders you to do something, say... Here's what you say.
That's illegal. Somebody ordered you something that's illegal.
I request the court martial. And if they want me to lock me up, I'll do this with my hands and say, I'll go to jail. Because
they can't kill you for insubordination.
Right. Only time they will ever order you is like in the battlefield. If you give them a direct order or whatever, they might order you executed right there, summary execution or whatever, if they see you do something. But that never happens. People just shoot people. They frag the guy later when he's sleeping, right? It's kind of crap they do. The lawmakers said they do not know whether last week's Washington Post report was true. And some Republicans were skeptical, but they said attacking survivors of an initial missile strike poses serious legal concerns. This rises to the level of a war crime if it's true, said Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat of Virginia. Representative Mike Turner, Republican of Ohio, when asked about the follow-up strike aimed at people no longer able to fight, said Congress does not have information that happened. He noted that leaders of the Armed Services Committee in both House and Senate have opened investigations. Actually, I've seen the video. Somehow it's been suppressed. You can't watch it anymore. So you see what's happening here.
That's bullshit.
Obviously, if that occurred, that would be very serious, and I agree that would be an illegal act, Trump said. Meanwhile, Turner said. Meanwhile, President Stinky the Clown on Sunday evening while flying back to Washington from Florida, where he celebrated Thanksgiving, confirmed that he had recently spoken with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. administration says the strikes in the Caribbean are aimed at cartels, some of which it claims are controlled by Maduro. Trump is also weighing whether to carry out strikes on the Venezuelan mainland for you didn't get enough killing civilians for
No.
Trump's a maniac. Once again, he closed the air. He declared that he closed the airspace over Venezuela over the weekend, which he didn't. And again, he just claims shit that ain't true. You can't trust the maniac. Again, people voted for this clown a second time. Never should have voted for him the first time. You can't spot a maniac from 20 feet. There's something wrong with you. And you can spot this dude. He's a lying sack of shit. Why are we still talking about him? It's like some mental illness we all have, right? I would say it went well or badly, Trump told reporters on board Air Force One when asked about the call. The Venezuelan Communications Ministry did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the call with Trump. Turner said there are concerns in Congress about the attacks on vessels that Trump administration says are transporting drugs, but the allegation regarding the September 2 attack is completely outside anything that has been discussed with Congress, and there is an ongoing investigation. Hell yeah, investigation. Here's what you do. You pull in the people that pulled off the attack who gave the order. And then, oh, okay, where did that order come from? Then you go up the line. Who gave that order? Okay. And then somebody somewhere goes, I gave the order, I was the guy at the top. Okay, and you prosecute everybody in that chain. All the way down to the guy who pulled the trigger.
Oh, but that's like a lot of work, and we have to do all that paperwork. Can I just not do my job and sit down and just watch YouTube shorts instead?
You know exactly where to find these guys. And you can pull them out of the field, wherever they are. Sit them in a freaking nice little barracks, right? Yeah. They're thinking, oh, yeah, well, you know, I'm just going to tell the truth. Just tell the truth. But again, just following orders is great. Didn't work in Nuremberg. Just remind them. Make them watch Nuremberg. Make them watch that movie. This man was just following orders. He was executed. Oh, shit. The guy, they were orders. They were following orders. Yeah. Doesn't stop a bullet. Let's get back to the story. Trump said the airspace above surrounding Venezuela should be considered as closed in its entirety, an assertion that raised more questions about U.S. pressure on Maduro. Maduro's government accused Trump of making a colonial threat and seeking to undermine the South America's country's sovereignty. After the Post's report, Hegseth said Friday on social media, hold on a second, let me get a drink. Fake news is delivering more fabricated, inflammatory, derogatory reporting to discredit our incredible warriors. Fighting to protect home. Fighting to protect the. Oh, there's camera. Oh, fighting to protect the homeland. That's what's his statement. That's what he did. I swear. That's true. Anyway, so our current operations in Caribbean are lawful under both U.S. and international law, he went on to say when his spokesman woke him up. With all actions in compliance with the law and armed conflict and approved by the best military and civilian lawyers up and down the chain of command, Hegseth wrote, trying to cover his ass. No, you killed wounded civilians as far as we know. Yeah. Not combatants at all. Not soldiers, civilians. Smuggling drugs isn't a crime. They weren't smuggling drugs in the United States. They were just smuggling them next door. Even if they were smuggling drugs. This is their business. People like drugs. I keep saying this. What's the fucking problem here? Pete said he did not order the death of those two men, Trump said. And I believe him. Republican Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, who hopefully is a serious person, not these idiots, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, and its top Democrat, Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed, said in a joint statement late Friday that the committee will be conducting vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances. That was followed Saturday with the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, Republican Mike Rogers of Alabama, and the ranking Democratic member, Washington Rep. Adam Smith, issuing a joint statement saying the panel is committed to providing rigorous oversight to the Department of Defense military operations in the Caribbean. We take seriously the reports of follow-on strikes on boats alleged to be ferrying narcotics in the Southcom region and are taking bipartisan action to gather a full county operation in question. Again, hopefully some oversight, not just, oh, yeah, well, you know what, they're something, they're not qualified as humans anymore, or something, you know. Let's have your non sequitur only in one story, so you can...
Hypothetical.
bury this one. Yeah.
Imagine if...
Right on.
Imagine a world where people just say, you know what, I did do that, instead of trying to blame someone else. It's so hard. It's so
it'd be
hard.
nice. No, he claims it's legal to kill people that are just minding their own business. And then if you didn't kill them the first time...
It's actually illegal to kill anyone. All the time.
And if you didn't kill them the first time, you get to kill them a second time. You go, oh, shit! And, of course, the actual evidence exists. They've just suppressed it. It went from being on the internet to not being on the internet.
Yep.
So...
Exactly.
Funny how that works. Somebody leaked it.
Is that your only story?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, somebody leaked it, and that leaker is still out there. Testify that leaker in front of Congress.
Let's keep on working on keeping people accountable, I suppose. Let's roll our next segment. I have 2 stories in this segment.
And you know the Department of Defense is going to quietly pay off all those
the wheel. I am the wheel, it's rolling. Let's roll the wheel again because it wants to give us the same thing twice.
Sometimes you can buy people off. Sometimes the Department of Defense can buy these civilians off with just $1 million. Isn't that interesting?
Okay, give me a bad pun for these stories.
All right, can I read it in? Sorry.
You can read it however you want.
My
first story is, speaking of people doing illegal shit, white supremacist terrorists have been dismantled. A cell has been dismantled in Spain. This is from Juana Viodez on El País. The most extreme version of white supremacy has now arrived in Spain. The national police have dismantled the first accelerationist terrorist cell. If you don't understand what that means, let's say I want to cause a white supremacist upheaval in a country. Well, I'm going to send a bunch of people there who are going to get people all jazzed up. Hey, look at all those brown people. They're a threat. Oh, boy, I better start killing my neighbor. And this was in Castellón. This group advocates the urgent need for action and counts among its many enemies anti-fascist groups. It's funny how it's so crazy how fascist groups don't like anti-fascist groups. LGBTQ plus organizations and the Muslims and Jewish communities and migrants, that's like everybody, as well as security forces and government officials who they believe have betrayed their ideals. They're race traitors. The cell dismantled in Spain consisted of a leader, around 25 years old, goodness gracious, and 2 followers, one of the same age and the other around 50. Imagine being a 50-year-old person and following around a 25-year-old. You've really gone down, right? Did any moment of your life go, wait a minute, why the hell am I listening to a 25-year-old who's barely been alive? Half my age. They know what they're talking about. Let's go kill the Muslims. According to sources familiar with the police operation, they were heavily armed and had been undergoing tactical training, such as entering a building and loading weapons, allegedly to carry out a call to attack Western democratic institutions, police reported today on December 1st. The cell was linked to The Base, an organization created in 2018 to achieve white supremacy through terrorism. They were just saying it out loud. The organization's leader, Ronaldo Nazário, called on his international cells to take actions just a month ago. Agents from the General Information Commissariat had been monitoring the suspect's movements since early 25, but Nazario's appeal, coupled with the training sessions and the arsenal of weapons, precipitated the operation. They're like, okay, it looks like they're about to actually do an attack. We need to take them down right now. We couldn't wait any longer, explained sources familiar with the operation. Dubbed Operation Cascadia, the Central Court of Instruction Number 6 of the National Court in charge of the case ordered the arrests last Tuesday, which was, what was last Tuesday, the 25th of November? Yes, the 25th of November. The 3 individuals are being investigated for membership in a terrorist organization and for recruitment, indoctrination, and the training for terrorist purposes, as well as illegal possession of weapons. The leader has been remanded in custody. That's right, it's also illegal to want to go kill a bunch of people in a public space. In case you didn't know that.
In what country?
Every country, I think. The main suspect places great importance on initiation rites and the official status of the cell. He is described as a scholar who amassed supremacist literature and possessed considerable skill in navigating the internet. So he's just a normal Zoomer, where he used encrypted applications which hampered the investigation. With a history of violence, he lived as an austere life. Oh, he's a rich guy. A rich guy who wants to be a white supremacist, or I guess who is a white supremacist.
Poser.
Which contrasted sharply with the financial means necessary to purchase the quantity of weapons seized. Hey Dad, I need $10,000. Why? I need to buy a sniper rifle for my white supremacist group. Whatever, leave me alone.
Cool,
Here's the
I'll sell
money.
a kidney.
Yeah. Including 9 firearms, 2 of them guns, ammunition, approximately 20 bladed weapons, tactical military training equipment. He was extremely radicalized, the sources added. The cell targeted vulnerable young people with a history of problems, violence, and difficulty socializing. Don't worry, guys. We'll be your friends as long as you killed some Muslims. Or some brown people. Or what else? Some gay people. Yeah, we'll be your friends. Just commit murder. Recruitment and radicalization were carried out through social media and chat rooms, using a progressive process in which applicants had to pass a test to demonstrate their knowledge of the group's ideology. Making it hard to get in, so then you want to get in. I see. Defend those ideals as their own and understand the consequences of joining a cell considered a terrorist. You will be arrested. But at least I have friends in jail. Only those who passed these stages reached the more restricted chat rooms where training and radicalization continued. Very few passed the screening process, according to sources consulted. The final evaluation meetings were held in person, and there were mainly highly motivated candidates who were rejected because they didn't meet the leader's requirements. Too brown. You can't join our white supremacy group. Their training was similar to that of law enforcement agencies, including combat techniques using paramilitary equipment. In 24, some arrests were made in Spain, in Lleida and Tarragona, related to the accelerationism, but it wasn't until the summer of that year that the base began to be considered a terrorist organization. This operation is the first in which an official cell has been dismantled, according to sources consulted. Internationally, other acceleration attacks have already occurred in Germany and the US, where the perpetrators record them for distribution, as well as in Turkey. 2011 massacre on Utøya, about 40 kilometers from the Norwegian capital, in which Anders Behring Breivik murdered 86 people at a youth camp, also falls under the category of far-right terrorism. From that moment on, Europol warned that this was a very new form of terrorism that was going to reach Europe, recalls a police source consulted. In a 24 report, Europol emphasizes that within right-wing terrorism, lone terrorists and small groups motivated by accelerationist ideas pose the greatest threat. It's easier to follow a large group of people moving stuff around. It's much harder to find one person doing that stuff. The fact that these threats come from radicalized individuals rather than large organizations makes it a more diffuse and complex phenomenon to combat. The operation was led by General Information Commissariat with the support of the Castellón Provincial Information Brigade, under the direction of the National Courts Prosecutor's Office, and involved agents from Europol. The investigation is ongoing, and hopefully they found everybody, so that nobody, we'd love to hear positive, right? This is a positive thing. They caught them before they did anything and hurt anyone with their stupid ideas. Give me a fun.
Well, I was gonna do the old typical bromide. I did not see that coming. But no, when you said paramilitary, I said, nah, these guys are just imitators. It's more like parrot military. And I was looking up, when you're talking about right-wing terrorist attacks, right?
Yeah.
All terrorist attacks are right-wing. Any terrorist attack that kills people is a right-wing, because leftists attack objects. They blow up objects. They don't want to kill people. They're on the side of people. The left wing is the people, right?
Yes.
I'll give you an example. What's the most famous domestic terrorist attack in the United States? Was Oklahoma City, right?
Yeah. They attacked a building.
That killed more people than all of the 1,470 bombings in the 1970s. And the majority of those bombings were leftist bombings. They were trying to end the Vietnam War. They were blowing up buildings. And people that got killed were like incidental, nobody should die. But it was, the night watchman or, somebody just happened to be homeless and sleeping on a roof or something like that. The whole left wing kill people. That's just a myth. Why would left wing is the people? The people. Don't you understand?
Yeah, I think
the right
I'm reading a very
concentrated power at
very
the top.
condensed Wikipedia article about this, but it looks like a lot of the people who are in leftist terrorist organizations are fighting against things that the police aren't helping them with, right? Like illegal drug trade. Our entire community is full of drugs, so we're fighting the actual drug dealers in the streets to get them out of our town. There's some stuff about fighting for agricultural, oil, and mining interests, like against corporations who are trying to be like, we're gonna put your town in a sinkhole because you've got a lot of titanium under it or whatever, right? So they're fighting corporations who are trying to take their land.
The left is of course the far left is like everybody's equally gonna share everything. That's never gonna work because humans are not like that. So if you can find humans that are just drones like that, that's where the Trump administration found a bunch of stupid people. They just act the same. They found them, right? They stopped thinking a long time ago.
I mean, of course, the most famous leftist terrorist group in the United States was the Black Panthers, who were just like, "Hey, we want to have our own. We want to have our own black people looking after black people. How dare you? You can't do that. You have to. The white people need to look after you. They know better."
Don't forget, Ronald Reagan banned assault weapons. The first assault weapons ban in the history of the United States, right? In California when he was governor, because black people had them. So, Ronald Reagan had the fear of the black person, which I'm sure if he felt a lot of guilt, he probably did fear him, right? He probably felt some guilt for some reason. That's the only reason I would think you would fear a black person. If you had a lot of guilt in your heart, you did something wrong somewhere, right? But to me, I don't fear anybody unless they're a direct threat to me. I didn't really fear them then. Because I think people are just angry, don't do rational things, and they telegraph their moves too. First of all, they turn red.
And this is, to be fair, terrorist organizations are a result, left and right? They're a result of society failing a group of people. So.
Yeah, failing to educate them about how the world works, instead of going, I can't believe my white skin hasn't bailed me out of everything.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Just your
I should be successful because I'm white. That's what they told me in school, but I'm not. It's like, well, it's not. I wish it was that easy. It's like on streaming, right? People tell me I should have it really easy streaming because I'm a woman. That's not how it works.
That's
just
absurd.
Me being a woman here does not mean I'm gonna get 10,000 viewers.
And the TikToks is full of these girls.
Nothing
that think
like
they're
that
just
works that way.
Beautiful.
But let's go to my next story. So I still have a second story. We're gonna talk about. This one should be shorter, anyways. A bank. Let's talk about banks and money laundering. This is coming out of Geneva on AP News. The Swiss authorities today, on the 1st of December, said they have indicted indicted a former official of Credit Suisse, now part of the Swiss banking titan UBS, for alleged money laundering in a case involving state companies in Mozambique, and charged the bank with not doing enough to stop it. I think we also talked about this last week or something, the Mozambique laundering. Credit Suisse, which was merged into UBS 2 years ago, is said to have provided loans totaling more than $2 billion to 3 state-owned companies in the African country in 2013. 3 years later, the deals became known as the Mozambique debt scandal, the Swiss Attorney General's office said, adding that it had opened a probe in 2020. The indictment handed down on the 25th of November centers on the transfer in 2013 of nearly $7.9 million from Mozambique's Ministry of Economy and Finance to a Credit Suisse account in Switzerland. The vast majority of these funds were then transferred to accounts in the UAE, the Attorney General's office said. That sounds like money laundering. They owe you money and then you give it to the UAE? That's weird. That isn't where it belongs. According to the indictment, the Credit Suisse Compliance Office officer was aware of many signs that the funds from Mozambique could be of felonious origin, but recommended that the top bank managers should not report the case to Switzerland's Money Laundering Reporting Office, known as MROS, and simply terminate the commercial relationship. I think we've got dirty money. Oh, let's just accept it and then stop accepting anymore? Credit Suisse didn't report on the case to MROS until 2019, so that would be not 6 years later. 6 years later, they're like, oh, by the way, we got dirty money over here. After the U.S. Justice Department announced a criminal proceeding in connection with the Mozambique loans. The Attorney General's office alleged that the negligence of the compliance officer, who was not named, allowed the funds to be laundered and said Credit Suisse didn't take required and reasonable measures to stop it. The UBS has been charged with being criminally liable. Yes, this is how that works. Even though the UBS didn't merge with the bank until I think 3 years ago when we started reporting on this, when you merge with another company, you are liable to the laws they've broken. So now they're going to be like, fuck, we really got a bad deal. I mean, the whole thing was a bad deal to begin with when they merged with the bank. In an email, the UBS said, we firmly reject the Office of the Attorney General's conclusions and will vigorously defend opposition because we don't want to pay for their crimes. The Attorney General's office said it is conducting criminal proceedings against 2 other people in connection with the Mozambique case. It was one of the string of troubles for Credit Suisse that led to the Swiss government officials and UBS to arrange the merger in 2023 of Switzerland's 2 biggest international banks. UBS has already mopped up other troubles at its now defunct former rival, including by paying fines over Credit Suisse's ties to collapsed hedge fund Archegos Capital Management 2 years ago. So I guess it was 2 years ago, not 3 years ago. Well, we talked about these guys before. And banks.
Swiss banks.
Banks being banks.
Yeah.
Surprise. I don't know. Always bad. Wow.
How many?
That's my story.
Yep. You got to be totally kidding. You mean the bankers who turned all that dead Jewish gold teeth into Nazi gold?
Yeah,
those guys? Yeah.
Doing illegal shit and laundering money? That's crazy. I never saw that coming.
I'm gonna try to yodel, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to fit in the back. This is the Swiss bankers yodel. We will launder loot. I don't know. I'm not a good yodeler, and I needed more ups and downs there, right? But I know.
That's your bad
Couldn't come
pun.
with a good yodel.
Great
That's my
job.
bad fun.
Great
We will
job.
launder loot. Yeah.
Okay, let's roll our next segue and get into your story.
We need a professional singer for the show.
Okay.
Let me break out my piggy.
What am I gonna sing?
I got some quarters. Oh, you're professional. Well, yodel. You
I'm
gotta yodel. You gotta hit
I'm
them
a
high
professional karaoke yodel. No, I can't. I need to be on a hill and be wearing lederhose. Haiku is our next segue for your story.
All right, we're gonna start off with more Trump malfeasance because he thinks he can just throw out any, beauty pageant contestant and call him a lawyer, and the judge is gonna listen to them. And it turns out that has been disqualified. He said at least one lawyer disqualified. Now he's had another one. This is from Reuters. Andrew Goadsward. Court disqualifies Trump ally Haba as top New Jersey federal prosecutor, who looks like a beauty pageant contestant, and she's wearing a cross. She has a cross around her neck, so you know she's a serious person. Federal appeals court determined on Monday that Alina Haba, who is Trump's defense attorney in the case where he was stealing documents, and she's the one that actually signed, actually should be in prison herself for stealing documents, is signing for him, because all being there when she didn't inventory them. So this woman is somehow, of course, because Trump's a criminal, was unlawfully appointed as the top federal prosecutor in New Jersey and disqualified her from supervising cases in a decision rebuking the Stinky the Clown. Unanimous ruling by a 3-judge panel of the Philadelphia-based Third Circuit Court of Appeals was the latest blow to Stinky and his Justice Department as they seek to install loyalists to oversee U.S. attorneys' offices around the country and political prosecutions.
Good morning, Mumbles.
Because they're fascists. What's that?
Somebody said good morning in chat. Mumbles said good morning.
Oh, I thought you said I was mumbling. It goes with the territory. I'm all. The third Circuit upheld U.S. District Judge Matthew Brand's ruling in August that the Trump administration violated a federal appointments law naming Haba as the U.S. Attorney in New Jersey. It is apparent that the current administration has been frustrated by some of the legal and political barriers to getting its appointees in place. Judge D. Michael Fisher wrote in the ruling, its efforts to elevate its preferred candidate for U.S. Attorney of the District of New Jersey, Alina Haba, to the role of acting U.S. Attorney demonstrates difficulties faced. What a lame frickin' ruling, right? That is so fair to them. Dude, here's the deal. They control the Senate. They can appoint whoever they want to.
That's how voting works. That's how representative democracy works. Oh, wait, shit. I used the word democracy, and they're going to freak out. No, we're a republic.
It's like, no. It's like he can't find anybody with any actual morals, and aptitude to fill these jobs because they don't want to work for Trump and go to prison later.
Yeah.
The ruling is likely to impact scores of active federal criminal cases in New Jersey, forcing the Justice Department to find a new prosecutor to supervise those cases. The administration could appeal the decision to the U.S. Supreme Court. A Justice Department spokesman did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Yeah, spokesman. What do you want him to say? He's like, God, I hate my job. That's what the spokesman's going to say. A federal judge last week dismissed criminal cases that had been brought against 2 high-profile Trump adversaries, FBI Director James Comey and New York State Attorney General Letitia James. The judge found that Stinky the Clown aligned prosecutor Lindsay Halligan, another, graduate of the, hey, I'm a pretty, ain't I pretty, that school of law, who brought the charges, had been unlawfully appointed as interim U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of Virginia. Not only that, that lady did not even show the evidence to the grand jury that she was seeking an indictment from, which is kind of confusing. Don't you want the grand jury to see the evidence that you're bringing forth? No, we're saving it for the trial. That makes no fucking sense. The grand jury needs to see it. What do you think? The grand jury's going to leak it to the press? They don't do that. They wouldn't be on a grand jury if they did that. I don't think people know what grand juries are, but let's carry on. Judges have also rejected U.S. attorney appointments in the Central District of California and Nevada in recent months. The Justice Department is appealing the Nevada ruling. So this is the 4th one. Regarding Haba, criminal defendants in 2 cases challenged a series of maneuvers that the Justice Department used to attempt to keep Haba in her post after judges in New Jersey District Court opted not to extend her interim appointment. The Justice Department accused the judges of political motivations. Doesn't matter. She can't do cases. We're the judges. Get this judge thing. You need to get your head. We're the judges. There's a judiciary to the government. It's co-equal with everybody else. And you can't just throw some bullshit at us and we got to accept it. Whether you get it or not. This isn't when unanimous. We don't want your crappy law. Because I'm done with the story about Alana Haba. She's a criminal. She's basically wasn't prosecuted. Yeah, she's a criminal. I mean, let's
also, good morning, Rick. I hope everyone's having a good morning. Here is my haiku. Knowledge and skill blend. Path to mastery unfold. Qualifications blossom. That's right. You got to be qualified to do your job. I wish you could just say, you know what, put Tom over there. They know what they're doing. No, they don't. They work, I don't know. They work in sales. They don't know anything about any court proceedings or laws or what's correct in the courtroom or nothing. They don't know how to establish anything. Yeah. Goodness. Is that your only story or do you have another one?
Yeah. I have another story because we're going to talk about the price of silver, if you remember that. Price of silver.
Your obsession.
And this I noticed. Okay, I've been talking about this for a while, but the market's closed. The New York Stock Exchange was not closed. It was not open Thursday. Was not open Friday. But commodities don't close like that, right? Mm-hmm. So you have silver futures on Thursday and Friday. The chart went like this. There's Monday. Thursday. Friday. Monday. It's still going, right? So this is over the weekend while the markets were closing and the people at CNBC, you think they know why? I have a theory myself. Let's see what they think. It's because the markets were closing and that the market's going to have a big correction based on AI not producing anything. That's kind of thing, right? The AI bubble about to burst. Silver hit a record highs in 2025. Here's why: the devil's metal, as this guy called it, could have further to run. This is Gael Legrand. Silver, often nicknamed the devil's metal because its volatility has reached record highs this year and still has further to run despite a supply crunch, according to experts. The metal's growth value has been running alongside gold, which has seen its own rally with the price surging past $4,000 an ounce this year. Silver prices reached a historic peak of $57.16 per troy ounce in late November, which was Friday. They've since pared back, gained somewhat, but that's not actually true. If you check it now, it's probably right back to 57. Some people were having to transport silver by plane render on cargo ships to meet delivery demand, says Paul Sims, head of
what are we buying all this silver
ETF
for?
fixed income and commodity. They're going to give the reason. I have a reason, because mine is the stock market's going to crash, and the smart investors are hedging. You buy something that is always going to keep its value. Even when it crashes, it still maintains a value that will never go away. Because it's a valuable metal. It's easy to melt, and it's used in all electronics. It's the highest kind of conductor of all. Fiber conducts, right? But you know how much fiber you got to run, You don't want fiber in your electronics anyway. Some people were having to transport silver by plane. They did it already. We've seen the spike up. We've seen the price come down a little bit. Longer term, there's a different dynamic this time that could keep silver at reasonably high prices and maybe continue to go up for some time to come. October was only the third time in the past 50 years where silver prices peaked. Other silver price highs included January 1980, when the Hunt brothers, if you don't know the Hunt brothers, think of the Kansas City Chiefs. Guy who owned the Chiefs at the time, his son owns the Chiefs now because he's dead, but they, big oil tycoons, and they tried to corner the Lamar Hunt was one of them. Massed 1/3 of the world's supply. That means the stuff that's been pulled out of the ground, and they attempted to corner the market. And as well as 2011, following U.S. debt ceiling crisis, when silver and gold were embraced as safe haven assets. Silver is only about 1/10 the size of a gold market, and that short squeeze obviously sort of caught a few investors by surprise. Unlike the previous investment wave, silver's boom in 2025 relied on a mix of low supply and high demand from India, as well as industrial needs and tariffs. After Liberation Day, the gold price spiked, but silver actually went down a little bit. I don't know when Liberation Day, I have to look that one up. And the gold-silver ratio spiked above 100. And Sims, referring to the gold-silver ratio, reflects how many ounces of silver are needed to buy 1 ounce of gold. A low ratio means gold is relatively cheap, while a high ratio indicates silver is undervalued and likely to rise. In April, the ratio reached its historic high. The risk managers in financial and industrial entities do not want to let any metal go out of the States for fear that it might come back at 35% higher, for example, said Rona O'Connell, head of the market analysts EMEA and Asia at StoneX. Right, this is more of, we're just trying to keep up foreign countries buying up our silver supplies because we need it for electronics. Fast forward to autumn, and silver entered its peak demand, especially as India's monsoon and harvest season came to an end. Farmers don't really like the banks very much, so gold and laterally silver tend to be the first port of call when they got the harvest in. Yep. I love your money, government. Now give me some gold, right?
Let me swap this over for something else. Yeah.
Thank you for this big pile of money. Give me an ounce of gold, right? Thank you. Yeah, they don't trust your currency, India. You got to straighten your shit out. Otherwise, your citizens are going to keep all the world's gold. Hey, I got some silver to sell, but I'm not going to sell it now. I'm going to wait until it's even higher, right? Psh. I'll keep the prices where they are because I know nobody's going to touch it till it's at level. So I don't even have to lower my prices. The prices will come up to meet me. The silver appeals this autumn also coincided with Diwali, a 5-day festival of light celebrating prosperity and good fortune, and also India's biggest public holiday. While gold is traditionally a favorite, this year, silver, an affordable investment option in a country where about 55% of the population depends on agriculture for their livelihood, outshined, nice pun, other metals. On October 17th.
Free pun.
There you go. On October 17th, the price of silver reached a record high at 170,415 rupees a kilogram, or an 85% rise since the start of the year. Similar in the United States. Probably even more in the United States. Pretty damn close. I mean, every day it's more. Yet London's vaults have been emptying rapidly for the past few years. In June 2022, the London Bullion Market Association held 31,023 metric tons of silver, but in March of 2025 had fallen by a third to 22,126 metric tons, its lowest point in years.
Damn.
Oh boy. Hey, Britain, your silver's leaving the country. You might want to keep an eye on it. Jack that price up. Come on, you can do it. Let's get it to 100. Let's make Roger some money. What isn't necessarily so visible to people is what's happening in the vaults. And that had reached a point where there was basically no available metal left in London.
Uh-oh.
Hey, all you guys out there at the metal detectors are going to get rich, man. All you got to do is start finding some silver. In October, the squeeze was such that the traders had to pay much higher borrowing costs or lease rates to close their positions. Oof. Man, that's crazy. It's the stupid traders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their cost of them doing business went up. At one stage, to borrow oversight was costing 200% on an annualized basis. A lot of people were stressed, to put it mildly. Supply is a constant issue for silver, as with other precious and rare metals. The Silver Institute's 2025 World Silver Survey estimates that mine production has been decreasing over the past 10 years, especially in Central and South America. Over the course of the past 12 months or so, the underlying surplus has started to turn into a deficit for 3 reasons: the impact of electrification of the vehicle fleet, artificial intelligence, and photovoltaic, solar panels. Said O'Connell, at the moment, a standard electric vehicle has about 25 grams of silver. Maybe the larger EVs have 50 grams of silver as part of their component, says Sims. If we move into these solid-state silver batteries, each electric vehicle might require 1 kilo or more of silver. Hello, demand. After the past 8 years, industrial demand for silver has grown steadily from 31,000 metric tons in 2016 to over 36 metric tons in 2024. That's steadily, it's not some huge spike. So that's not like some crazy spike. All right, so there's your story on the price of silver and why it's getting really nice if you own it. And I don't know, if you got some old coins rolling around from 1964 on back, they all got silver except for the nickels and the pennies.
My haiku is:
Canadian.
Silver gleams and glows in Roger's restless heartbeat. Market whispers call.
Hey.
You're rolling around and you're still going, oh, the silver price. What if it's spiked while I'm sleeping?
Yeah, you banks need to do is just jack up your prices like now. Just go. Don't be giving away your silver reserves for the price of.
You don't want to be like
Let's
London.
see that market go.
No silver left. Let's roll our next segue for my culture segment. Segue. I'm the segue.
I'm gonna be Crazy Roger
bad
silver
pun again. Let's re-roll. Goodness. Something different. Come on, Will, you can do it. You can roll a different thing. Sarcasm. That can have its own bad puns in it.
It's crazy Roger Silver sale.
Also, let me snooze these ads.
All of it must go.
I almost missed it. Okay, our culture segment is going to be about... Well, the thing we talked about, I think on last Wednesday or last Tuesday, we talked about don't buy anything on Black Friday. And now, Indra Bhati Lahiri on Euronews Culture is going to talk about it as well. And I guess the results of that, or what it means. While global shopping events such as Black Friday have been around for decades, anti-consumerist movements like Buy Nothing Day are now gathering more followers to combat overconsumption. Overconsumerism, whether on social media, online shopping platforms, and physical stores, has been an ongoing trend for the last few decades, thanks to the 50s, made worse by the rise of social media, influencers, frequent deals, and marketing campaigns. You need to buy this lip balm right now. It's like the best lip balm I've ever had, and if you buy this lip balm, your life will be just as great as my life. That's my example of influencers. Major shopping events such as Black Friday, taking place on Friday, kicking off the start of the annual holiday shopping season, have also exacerbated the issue. Previously only a single day event, Black Friday now includes an entire weekend, taking in Cyber Monday as well, which is today. In some regions, this goes for a full week, known as Cyber Week. Yes, the Netherlands started Black Friday on last Monday. There was a whole week of just Black Friday deals. And I didn't buy anything. I did buy something on Friday, but it wasn't due to Black Friday. It was because my GPU fans broke and I needed to buy new fans for my GPU. But I didn't buy it on a Black Friday deal. However, now more than anti-consumerism movements have emerged to counter Black Friday and the overall global spending and consumption culture. One of the most prominent movements is Buy Nothing Day, which we talked about last week. Did you participate? It's an international protest day against widespread global consumerism. It encourages participants to pledge to not buy anything for 24 hours, both online and in person, in order to raise awareness about the harmful effects of too much consumption. Started in '92 by Canadian artist Ted Dave, it was further popularized by anti-consumerist magazine Adbusters. Since its launch, the movement has spread to more than 60 countries worldwide. Buy Nothing Day is a reminder that we already have enough and that our choice can shape a future built on care, not consumption. That's right, I have plenty of stuff. I have so much stuff, my desk is always full of it, so I don't need any more stuff. It also encourages people to reduce waste.
I'm selling it. Somebody buy my stuff.
Yeah, buy my stuff. It also encourages people to reduce waste and consider their overall spending habits. Participants can help decrease packaging waste along with shipping and manufacturing carbon footprints. The day also encourages prioritizing more meaningful, non-commercial activities, to invest in stronger community and re-examine the relationship between materialism and happiness. Boy, I'm sure glad I bought this lip balm that made my life better. Oh wait, it didn't make my life better. My life is actually the same after buying this lip balm. So, and most things you buy are a dopamine prick. Oh, I feel so good, I got a thing, and then you get over it. Unless it's like an actual, I want to say buying a new phone has increased my life because my old phone was so slow and my new phone is so much better. But anyways, sometimes you do need an update. You should spend time with your pets, friends, and family, participate in community events, and go for walks outside. Outside, but it's cold out there. But Buy Nothing Day also ties into the wider issues such as social inequality and environmental impact. It raises awareness for reuse and secondhand charities, which prevent items from going into landfills and also help low-income households. By being on the same day as Black Friday, it also emerges as a true antidote to worldwide shopping culture and has gathered quite a few followers over the years, but has also significantly divided the internet. No, not the internet. They're never divided on there. They're always the same thing. Some social media users agree with the concept of frugality, mindful spending, thrift culture, and sustainable buying. Others fall more onto the YOLO camp and little treat culture. Treat yourself. They believe that since larger life goals such as buying a house and saving enough for retirement are out of their reach, why not fill my entire house like a landfill instead? Smaller treats like shopping sprees shouldn't be frowned upon. This year, Black Friday saw more controversy than usual, with a marked surge in more anti-consumerist movements and boycotts. This includes the Buy Nothing Day, We Ain't Buying It, and Make Amazon Pay Day, all on Black Friday. From November 27th to December 1st, folks are stepping back from Target, Home Depot, and Amazon. People are done being squeezed, so they're using the leverage of their wallets. We ain't buying it. National boycott. Mass blackout has also been launched from the 25th to 1st of December, mainly targeting large corporations like Amazon, Home Depot, and Target, among others. This is to protest labor right violations, the retail chain's support of Trump, as well as their backtracking from diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and their political allies are betting on techno-authoritarian future. But this Make Amazon Pay Day workers everywhere are saying enough. Christy Hoffman, General Secretary of UNI Global Union, said in a press release. For years, Amazon has squashed workers' rights to democracy on the job through a union and the backing of authoritarian political figures. Its model is deepening inequality and undermining the fundamental rights of workers to organize, bargain collectively, and demand safe, fair workplaces. These anti-consumerist and boycott campaigns are also aimed to encourage shoppers to support local, sustainable, and second-hand small businesses, which you said last week, right? You said if you're gonna buy stuff, buy something from a local store, especially those which are Black, immigrant, or minority owned. Those which have resisted the influence of Trump so far. There's your story on kind of the results. I guess not the results. I don't think we'll actually see the results of the days happening, because you have to really collect a lot of statistical data, and that takes a while to go through. But it wasn't just don't buy anything day, but we ain't buying it, and don't support Amazon. So there's a lot of big movements that have been seeing traction.
Yeah, so maybe there's just going to be some kind of total collapse of the economy now. But that's actually happening. Now, we're never going to find out because, and I wish I was being sarcastic, we still don't have any economic numbers for September, October, and now November's.
That's right. We did a story about how they were like, hey, we lied about all the the stuff. We just made shit up.
There could be total economic collapse, and since the government's just going to lie to us because they fired the truth. And telling the truth is not allowed if you're in the government. You got to kiss the ring. You got to lick the butt. You got to, because we all work for fascism now. And he works for Russia. There's my sarcasm.
Okay, let's get our next segue and our final segue. And this day in history. It is going to be a mixed metaphor.
Don't forget the videos there for you.
Yep, I'm downloading it now.
Right on. Okay, this in history. December 1st in the year friggin', what year are we back to? 1761. Do you know who Marie Tussaud is?
Isn't she the one who did the wax figurines?
You are correct. Give yourself 10 points. The founder of
you get 10 points. What do I do with the points? Do I cash them in for like a payout of silver or something?
To be determined later. This is like the gambling app. You accumulate a bunch of points. You have no idea what they're for, and at some point they give you a free bet. A free bet. Oh golly!
Oh,
you get to lose money on the bet you decide I'm going to make. Right? Screw you and your free bets. Anyway, next story. Anyway, you get a free bet. Oh, there you go. You got a free bet. 1814. General Andrew Jackson, commander of the U.S. Army of the Southwest, hastened to defend New Orleans, Louisiana, against British invasion. A series of skirmishes over the next few weeks culminated in the Battle of New Orleans, which, if that reminds you of the song, was what you did, then you would have the song "The Battle of New Orleans" remind you of, by Johnny Horton. 1825, Russian Emperor Alexander I died unexpectedly in southern Russia. Let's start an investigation into that. That was 1825. 1913, the world's first moving assembly line debuted, used in manufacturing Model Ts at the Ford factory in Highland Park, Michigan. The innovation was the idea of Henry Ford, and it revolutionized the auto industry. Henry making every car look identical. 1925, Germany, France, Belgium, Great Britain, and Italy signed the Pact of Locarno, a series of agreements intended to guarantee peace in Western Europe. Work like a charm. 1959, some charms don't work though. Some,
Some of them.
Work like a charm that. And by work like a charm, I mean it didn't work at all. In 1959, the Antarctic Treaty was signed by 12 countries, making the Antarctic continent a demilitarized zone to be preserved for scientific research. Until it melts and we discover there's some precious metal there, then we're going to fight over it. 1988, the first World AIDS Day was held. That was 1988. So we had to recognize it. Even it took, I guess it took Nancy Reagan to recognize it before somebody had a world.
Yep.
That's kind of pathetic because they were already out of office by then.
Maybe I should care about this disease. Huh.
Yeah, she probably cared somewhere in the mid 80s, before 88, but there still wasn't a World Day. 2000, the Fox was inaugurated as president of Mexico, ending the dominance of the Industrial Revolutionary Party, which had ruled since 1929. Vicente Fox. And we're going to go back to 1955 for our featured event. Rosa Parks' refusal to relinquish her bus seat 70 years ago today. 1955, in violation of segregation laws in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger and was arrested, sparking a 381-day bus boycott led by Martin Luther King. She got arrested intentionally. If you know the whole story, I had to learn this on Drunk History. There was actually a 15-year-old that was arrested in the same city earlier, but for some reason they didn't want to make her. So Rosa Parks went and staged it, got arrested on purpose. And she's a civil rights hero for standing up and going, yeah, give me what you got. Yeah. Carl Schmidt-Rottloff, German artist, was born this day on December 1st, 1884. He died August 9th in Berlin at the age of 91. Long live the artist. Rottloff, Germany is his birthday. He got 91 years old. Alexandra, the Queen Consort of Great Britain, was born on this day in 1844. Gregory Zhukov, Soviet Marshal, was born this day in 1896. He was a marshal. Marshal of what? The parade? It's Richard Pryor's birthday. Happy birthday, Richard Pryor. 85. It's also Bette Midler's birthday. She's 80 today. Contemporary of Bob Dylan, among others. 1976 is the birthday of Matthew Shepard, who was murdered because he said something to a guy, and they decided, oh, he's gay.
Oh,
Kill
I hate
him.
when I do that.
That poor guy. It's his birthday today. Yeah. So again, Utah. That happened. Utah, famous for killing people lately. Have we noticed a trend in Utah? I think it was Utah. It was somewhere out west. It might have been Colorado. It was one of them square states where people go, oh, where's everybody? Yeah, one of those states. All right, so there's your birthdays and so forth. National days. It's bifocals at the Monitor Liberation Day. Not sure that involves wearing bifocals while you're at the computer, which, these are bifocals, right? Down, up, That's bifocals.
Yeah, you have to have
right?
two different lenses on a...
Yeah, but the print's so big here I can read it. Day Without Art Day, which I don't support. I guess it's just there to make you appreciate art. So I guess you can support it if you want. It's Cyber Monday. We just mentioned that. Oh, get on there in line and order a bunch of crap you don't need. No thanks. I only order crap I do need.
Coincides with World AIDS Day. It was started by a committee with Visual AIDS Organization in response to the AIDS crisis. The morning recognizes the lives lost during AIDS, which a lot of them were famous artists. So there we go.
That's what it is then, the Day Without Art. Rosa Parks Day, for obvious reason. It's National Pie Day and National Eat a Red Apple Day. I guess that's what another thing you can do with an apple.
I did eat a red apple. If you consider my pie a red apple.
You can plant it in the ground, maybe. That's about the whole lot you can do with a red apple besides eat it. Throw it at somebody. That's violence. You don't want that. They'll come back at you with a big apple. That's not an apple. Something bigger than an apple. Those are your days. Those are your mispronunciations, your updates, your us succumbing to nonsense for today. December 1st, 2025, on Before Pie.
Delicious pie. All right, unfortunately, we're gonna have an ad break here at the end, but we're finishing the show anyways. So, sounds like we
Get the video, look.
are making a mountain out of a storm in a teacup this week. As we'll see you tomorrow for Good Tuesday News Day and all of that stuff. Wait, is there anything else I should say? No, I think we're just ending the show. That's the end of our show. Don't forget to support us on Patreon if you so desire. Follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S.
Wait a second. I thought you had something to do here yet. Hold on a second.
Well, what? Sorry, what's happening?
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay. We will see you tomorrow for Good Tuesday News Day, in which we have all the good news that you need to hear for this week, the last month of the year, the last first Monday of a month. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So let's go to our mic drop moment.
Somewhere off the coast of Venezuela, a speedboat with 11 people on board is blown.
This is
to
Rand
smithereens.
Paul, a
Vice President
Republican.
Vance announces that killing cartel members that poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of our military. When challenged that killing citizens without due process is a war crime, the Vice President's response is that he doesn't give a shit.
No.
Sometimes, in fits of
He'll
anger,
care when he's the one
loud
getting
voices
shot,
will say
double shot.
they
He
don't
didn't
care
die
about
the
the
first time.
niceties, such as due process. They just want to kill bad guys.
Yeah, this is
For a
October
brief
8th.
moment, all of us share that anger and may even embrace revenge or retribution. But over 20,000 people are murdered each year in the U.S., and somehow we find a way to a dispassionate dispensation of justice that includes legal representation and a trial. Why? Because sometimes the accused is actually not guilty. Even with the best of care, even with the best of justice, sometimes we find out it's the wrong person. As passions subside, a civilized people should ask questions. To be clear,
we don't want to be civilized. We want authoritarian fascism.
Were guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone returned back to their basic
about
animal
justice,
instincts.
Perhaps those in charge
carnage and
of
not caring about
deciding
each
whom
other.
to kill might let us know their names, present proof of their guilt, show evidence of their crimes.
Wait a minute, that sounds like how the
Administration
justice
has
system
maintained
works.
that the
We can't
people
do that.
they blew to smithereens were members of a gang, members of Tren de Aragua, and therefore narco-terrorists. Why? Because we say so.
Yeah.
But certainly then, if they
This is
know
why you
that they
always have to
belong
question
to
what
a
the government
particular
says.
gang,
Those are all
then
terrorists.
someone must surely know their
do you have
names
proof that they were terrorists? No.
before they were blown to smithereens. Is it too
We'll
much
just say
to
they're all
ask
terrorists and then we
to
can wipe
know
our
the
hands of the whole
names of
ordeal?
those we kill before we kill them? To know what evidence exists?
Thousands and thousands and thousands of miles
least,
away
the
from the
government
United
should
States.
explain
Nowhere close
how
to the
the
United
gang
States.
came to be labeled as terrorists. How did the people
They're gonna
who
get
you say
us.
are in
They're
a
gonna shoot
gang,
missiles.
how did they come to be labeled as a terrorist? U.S. law
I mean, this is why
defines
they
a
had to
terrorist
say when
as
we
someone
invaded
who
Iraq
uses
that they were mass
politically
destructive. What do they
motivated
say?
violence
Weapons of mass
against
destruction.
non-combatants.
Right? You had to give a reason why you're invading a country
Or
and blowing up their main
profiteers.
city.
Show us evidence
Oh,
of
they
their
have bombs.
guilt. Show us evidence that they are
Dick Cheney's
terrorists,
stock
perhaps
portfolio.
before we
Yeah.
blow people to smithereens.
I'm just saying, at least, but that's
Since
what I'm
the
saying,
US
right? They give a
policy is now
reason
to
that
blow
wasn't
people to
founded.
smithereens if
No
they are suspected
investigation,
of being
just-
in a
yeah, well,
terrorist
there's totally
gang,
bombs there.
then maybe someone should take the time to explain
I'm in
the
the
evidence
3-minute
of their
mark. Where you at?
terrorism.
Oh, you told me to stop?
Critics of this
Oh,
whole
I didn't read that.
terrorist
You wanted me to
labeling
stop anyway.
charade, such as
I don't
Matthew
care.
Petty at Reason explain that in practice, What we are
It's 11
doing in
minutes. I just
practice
didn't know
means
if
that
you're
a terrorist is whoever the executive branch decides to label one.
Exactly.
You are a terrorist because you are labeled one. You can be killed because you are called a terrorist. But where in all of this is some sort of evidence
There's no law.
that you are
It's just
guilty of something?
authoritarianism.
While no law
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.